Hello, class. Today our essential question says how to find the volume of a composite shape. Now, what's a composite shape, you ask? A composite shape is something that we would see usually in the real world where we have multiple shapes put together to form the object. Okay, so if you look at this water tower right here, you'll notice that there's a cylindrical part, meaning a cylinder in the middle. There's a cone on the top. And on the bottom, there is a half sphere. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be finding the volume of shapes like this that need to be broken into different pieces. Okay, let's go ahead and read what we have going on right here. The city of Gonzales decided to build a new water tank. The top will have a conical shape, meaning a cone. The middle will have a cylindrical shape, meaning a cylinder. And the bottom will be half of a spherical shape, as shown below. How much water can the tank hold? So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the volume of the water tank in parts to get the total volume. So the first part we have is the cylinder. Now the cylinder of the water tank is 25 feet tall with a diameter of 18. So if the diameter is 18, what is the radius? All right, so we've got 9 as our radius. Okay, so we're going to start with the formula for the cylinder. It says we're going to take pi times the radius squared times height. Now for this, we're going to go ahead and round our answers, okay, because the directions right here say we can use pi as 3.14 and we can round to the nearest hundredth. So it is asking us to round. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and fill in our formula right here. Which of these numbers should we use for R? We should use 9. So I'm going to put 9 squared right there. That means that the 25 goes for the height. So we have pi times 9 squared times 25. Now, normally I would use the pi button, but the directions specifically told me to use 3.14. So I guess I'm going to do what the directions are telling me to do. So I'm going to type in 3.14 times 9 squared times 25. And that tells us that for the cylindrical portion, for the cylinder, we have 6,358.5 gallons. Or not gallons, but square feet. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. We have 6,358.5, and that is cubic feet, so 3-dimensional feet. Now we're ready to take a look at the cylinder. Sorry, not the cylinder, the cone. Okay, so we're going to look for the cone, and we can see that we have the radius, and it's also 9, just like last time. And that makes sense because if you look at the shape, looks like the radius for all of them should be the same thing. So we have a radius of 9 and a height of 10. Now the formula for the volume of a cone starts just like our cylinder, pi r squared times height, and we need to divide by 3. All right, let's go ahead and fill in the numbers where they need to go. Now I will be using 3.14 as pi because the directions told me to, times, what should I use for R? 9. That means that for the height, I should use 10, and I'm going to divide that by 3. Okay, time to put that in our calculator, and we'll see what we get. We're going to start with 3.14 as pi, because they told us to, times 9 squared, times 10, and divide that by 3. So in the cone portion, we're going to have 847.8. And that is 3-dimensional feet. Now we're ready to take a look at the spherical portion, the sphere. Now again, they gave us the diameter as 18, but we know that the radius is 9. Okay, that's half of that. So we're going to be using 9 as our radius. All right, now, even though we know that the part of the shape on the water tower is only a half circle, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out a circle, and then once we get our final answer, we'll just cut that answer in half because we know it's only half of the whole sphere. So let's just figure out a sphere like normal. So we're going to take our formula, says 4 times pi times the radius to the 3rd power, all divided by 3. All right, so let's go ahead and fill that in. We're going to take 4 times pi. The radius is 9 to the 3rd power, all divided by 3. Okay, so here comes the calculator, so we can do this. We're going to take 4 times, and I'm going to use 3.14 for pi, times 9 to the 3rd power, and I'm going to divide that by 3. So the whole sphere was 3,052.08 cubic feet. However, we do not want the whole thing. We only want half of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my answer right here, and I'm going to divide it by 2 so that I can have half of a sphere. And that's 1526.04. All right, so I've got half of a sphere, I have a cone, and I have a cylinder. Those are the 3 parts that make up our composite shape of the water tower. So now we have to answer the question, how much water can the city water tank hold? Okay, so that means all of it. So what are we going to do? That's right, we're just going to add the 3 parts together. So I'm going to take my calculator, and we're going to add these together. So first, we're going to take 6,358.5 plus, the next part was 847.8 plus, and we want to use the half of the sphere, so we're going to say 1,526.04, and we get 8,732.34. So how much can it hold all together? $8,732.34, and we want to label it cubic feet of water. Now that's not in gallons, but we did measure in cubic feet for this particular problem. All right, so that's the idea behind a composite shape. You break it into pieces, find out the volume, and then add them all together. All right, so that's your mission today, is flip over the paper and find the volume of those composite shapes. Good luck.